your mental health and all that stress that surrounds the holidays. And joining me this morning is Dr. Jason Salagubang. He's a family medicine and geriatric specialist at Florida Hospital of Hopkins. Thanks so much for coming in. It's such a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
All right, so we see these scenes from movies like Christmas Vacation, and we think, that's exactly how Christmas is at my house. Isn't it sad? But it's true, because I guess there's something about the holidays that bring out the chaos.
That is true. Around the holiday season, it can be a good thing. Usually, we want it to be a great thing for our loved ones when we get together. But even for some people, it can bring up some intense emotions, especially if you're experiencing the loss of a loved one. So, we want it to be a positive experience, but for some people, it can be a negative one, too, as well.
Do we often place too much pressure on ourselves to try to create the perfect holiday? And in the end, I think sometimes we're almost setting ourselves up for disaster.
What I could tell you, especially what I've seen in my practice and with the economic downturn, a lot of people will come into my practice with vague complaints of abdominal pain, chest pain, shortness of breath. But when you get to the heart of the matter, they're going through some type of emotional distress. And it's important to remember, if you consider yourself part of the human race, part of our overall well-being has to deal with a physical component, emotional, and even a spiritual component. And when one of those things is out of whack, so to speak, it affects everything else too as well.
So how do we sort of find that balance as we're going in? What do you tell your patients who are like, I'm so stressed out, doctor, I don't even know, where to begin? Because there is a lot to accomplish, and I think sometimes women tend to internalize all of those accomplishments even more so than men.
Yeah. Well, I refer people to one of the oldest documents ever written. And there's this proverb that says, a merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. That's found in Proverbs 17, verse 22. And what it's talking about is that interplay between physical, emotional, and spiritual. And some things you can do, some basic things that don't require a lot of money, is making sure you're exercising enough, drinking plenty of water, eating plenty of fruits and vegetables, engaging yourself in positive emotional activities. I'm not just talking about in front of the TV,
right,
with your Xbox, but something that can stimulate your mind. And then, of course, getting deep into your spiritual aspect, whether that's prayer, meditation, or communing with nature.
And sadly, a lot of people, too, go into the holidays with elderly relatives, and maybe they haven't seen grandma in a year, and they start to see the decline that they didn't notice the year before. That's something you probably see a lot of as well.
Yeah, I deal a lot with elderly patients. I have some extra training in geriatrics, and one of the, unfortunately, the biggest things I see is dementia. But you'll be surprised, even with these demented folks, they may not remember something that happened last week, but once you start playing those Christmas carols, they'll still be singing their heart out. So it can actually be a positive thing. So I think if people and family members can focus on the positive memories, that certainly can help them cope with the stresses with the holiday season.
All right, Dr. Jason Salagubang, thank you so much. So nice meeting you from Florida Hospital. And if you have any questions for him, he's going to be here in our web center for the rest of the morning answering your questions. All you have to do is go to our website, myfoxorlando.com. Just click on Top Stories and then join the web chat. I know you have a lot of questions, so go ahead, ask away. You're ready, right? All right, Jim, let's send it over to you.
Good stuff, Amy. A good segment.